Here we go. Here we go. It's another edition of First 11, your connection with DC United. Dave Johnson along with Bruce Murray. A lot to talk about. DC United with those 2 stoppage time goals in the win over the Colorado Rapids. And just days after that, the 2-0 hard-fought win over the Charleston Battery. And we'll start with that, Bruce, as we get going. People buzzing about Jacob Merle's goal. Not only did it break the 0-0 tie, in extra time, by the way, but also just it was just a beautiful goal. But having said that, when we talk about a beautiful goal, yes, but he deserved that based on all the hard hat work he put in through 90-plus minutes.
Oh, my gosh. Nobody on the field was running as much as Jacob Merle. And the dirty work he did reminds me of, Baji when he puts his shifts in and he holds it up for the team. And Jacob did that. And he, right before that goal, Dave, he had a toe poke that he just couldn't quite get to. And you felt like it just wasn't going to be his day. But the goal itself was just pure brilliance.
DC United wins possession. Leal left of the center circle. And for Jacob Merle. And it came off the back of Merle, but Merle now just outside the box, cuts to his left, gets a shot on. Oh, it's in the net! It's in the net! It is in the net! Jacob Merle, a wonder goal! Right on the top of the D with the left foot. Fireworks go off at Midfield. And finally, DC United has broken through.
It hit the back of him, and then he had to stop, and then he had to take on 2 players. But what he did was, he did a chop Cruyff about 25 yards out, took a look and said, why don't I just hit it? Left-footed. He's not left-footed. And he smokes it into the upper corner. It was exactly the same goal as our U.S. national team player Jack McGlynn scored against Paraguay. It was a bomb.
And again, that's a good point. He's not left-footed, but boy, it was all right. That's for sure. Now, we talk about, of course, Jacob Merle, and fans are saying this, and all of you supporters, and as you connect with us on iHeartRadio, he's an example because of his hard work. If you give him the time, he will produce.
Yeah, he will produce, Dave. And not only that, if our listeners can remember back to the Chicago game, he bailed us out with a bicycle kick. He's scoring spectacular goals. What if he gets just more time? And is he going to become and develop that off striker, off Benteke, that one guy who can score 10 to 12 goals and your Golden Boot guy scores 22 goals? If we can develop that striker, anything's possible.
And Benteke certainly seems to have a relationship with him. Also significant when you think about this period of time for DC United, they got down against the Colorado Rapids. But again, their heads did not get down. And the way they for goodness sakes, responded in stoppage time in the first half with 2 goals, the goals say a lot about the character, actually, of this team.
It does. I mean, look, even me in the booth, I'm like, oh my gosh, what are we doing? How did that happen? And then they didn't give up, and they kept going. And that's what I said after the second goal.
Now Herrera goes central with the left foot. His cross ricochets, bounces, and the shot, and a goal. Jose Kojima. It's in the net. Oh, is it in the net? Jose Kojima just scissored it home, and DC United leads 2-1.
Hey, Kojima scored off that deflection that you called so brilliantly. I thought it was offside, but it wasn't. You cannot give up in this game. You have to keep fighting. There is a way through. And DC United has proven that 2 games in a row now. So do they have that, in the toolbox going forward? I think they do. We've got a great opportunity going up to a struggling FC Toronto. Anything's possible. But Dave, looking at the stats, I don't know if our fans are following it really closely, but man, we're in a playoff position if we get 3 points this weekend.
Jose Kojima, as he described that goal, he talked about thinking about a goal 2 weeks prior by Dennis Bouanga. He's, as we've talked to him, he's always thinking, always visualizing the game. How much of that did you do as a player, and just talk about the way he studies the game while he's playing the game?
Well, I didn't study the game as much, kind of play by the seat of my pants, but I also understand that he is writing letters to famous players and almost a pen pal type situation, and they're writing him back. And so he is trying to assemble this treasure trove of information, both on cards and up in his head, so that he knows he's a true student of the game. I wasn't that. I was, man, let me figure out what to do when I get into the situation. Kojima seems to think his way through, a very cerebral player.
And as we look ahead with Toronto FC and look ahead now into the round of 16, this is the busiest month of the season for DC United. A takeaway I had from the Open Cup game the other night, Fidel Barajas and some guys getting some playing time. I thought he was a difference maker in the game. And that depth is going to be important if DC United is to not only survive, but thrive in this month.
Yeah, it is. Depth is going to be huge. Look how many center backs have been out already this year. And we have a rotation of guys that we can trust. Lucas Bartlett's out, in comes McNaughton. McNaughton's out, Tubbs. I mean, we can continue to, Matty Pedala jumps in. I mean, we can kind of conveyor belt our center backs because they all understand what we're doing. There's a philosophy, and it's 3 at the back. One comes over weak side, and one comes back, the off forward. So we're always playing with 5 now in the middle. And that's what we figured out after we got hammered by San Jose, that poor result out in San Jose.
All right, DC United, Toronto FC, that's the next assignment. It is coming up on Saturday. We will have it for you on iHeartRadio beginning at 4:15. That's First 11 minutes or less. Your connection with DC United. For Bruce Murray, I'm Dave Johnson. Thanks for the time.